Sa ating lahat, and we are Ace Pagaran and Angelica Taginod, and we are here to report to you the impacts of climate change to animal health. Ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ng climate sa weather or weather sa climate? Ang weather is the current condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time, while climate is the pattern of weather over a long period of time, usually in 30 years. Ano nga ba ang climate change or what is climate change? According to the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, it is any change in the climate over time, whether due to natural variability or human activity, and it is attributed directly or indirectly to human activity that alters composition of global atmosphere and is an addition to natural climate variability observed over comparable time period. Ano-ano nga ba ang mga naobserbahan natin sa climate change or what are observed on climate change? Number 1, increase in temperature or global warming. Global warming is the phenomenon of increasing average air temperatures near the surface of Earth over the past 1 to 2 centuries, and it refers specifically to such warming that is due to the influence of rising concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Second, increase in humidity and precipitation. Ayan po, papasok po dyan ang El Nino or sa English ang A Little Boy or Rice Child na nag-cause sa atin ng severe drought, and the La Nina or the Little Girl in English, which cause floods, heavy rains, landslides, and continuous rainfall. Bago tayo dumako sa impact of climate change on animal health, pumunta muna tayo sa impact of livestock animals on climate change. Do you know? Discontented cow happily converting grass into milk and meat is being labeled a climate criminal. Ayan po. Kaya na po bahala ang umusga sa ating animals kung siya po ay criminal or hindi. Livestock animals is responsible for about 14 to 5% total of anthropogenic greenhouse gases. And these gases are the methane gas and nitrous oxide coming from the livestock production over the world. Yan po. Ano nga ba ang methane gas and nitrous oxide? Methane gas is a gas which has an effect in global warming 20 times higher than the carbon dioxide. Yan po. Mas malakas po ng 28 times kumpara sa carbon dioxide sa pag-cause ng global warming ang methane gas. And it is mainly produced by enteric fermentation and manure storage. And second, nitrous gas is a molecule with a global warming potential 265 times higher than the carbon dioxide. Ayan, 265 times po na mas malakas ang nitrous oxide kumpara sa carbon dioxide sa pag-cause ng global warming. Ayan po. Ito po ang Global Livestock Environmental Assessment Model na nagpapakita ng carbon dioxide equivalents of greenhouse gas incidences from enteric fermentation and manure storage of the main livestock species from beef cattle to down to the chicken. Ipinapakita dito ang beef cattle ang pinakamataas na contributor which has a 1.8 gigatons carbon dioxide equivalents, and ang pinakamababa po dito ang chicken which has 0.1 total gigatons carbon dioxide. Yan po. Oops. It's not all my fault, you know, sabi ng isang baka. Tama nga ba ang sinasabi niya? As shown in this figure, feed production and processing contribute about 45% of the whole sector, or 3.2 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalents. Enteric fermentation, producing about 2.8 gigatons, or 39% of the whole sector, is the second largest source of emissions. Manure storage with 0.71 gigatons accounts for about 10% of the total or the whole sector. The remaining 6% or 0.42 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalents is attributable to the processing and transportation of animal products. Feed production includes all greenhouse gas emissions arising from land use change, manufacturing and use of fertilizers and pesticides, manure excreted and applied to the fields, agricultural operations, feed processing, and feed transport. Punta na po tayo sa impact of climate change on animal health. Yan po ang ating main topic. Yan. Climate change has a direct effect on livestock production, especially in feed security. Due to climate change, most of the production losses ay nanggagaling sa production or non-availability of feeds and water resources or the feed security itself. Climate change has the potential to impact in the quantity and reliability of forage crops, forage production, and water demand for cultivating forage crops. And it will solve to lessen dry matter intake of the animals. And why? And what is the reason of why the animals lessen their dry matter intake? Because it's their survival instinct or survival mechanism. Kagaya din ng tao, pag kumakain tayo or habang kumakain tayo ay pinagpapawisan. Tayo ay nagre-release ng heat. And if the animals reduces their feed intake and increases their water intake, there will be changes in their endocrine status, and it will increase their energy maintenance requirements, and it leads to the low performance of the animals, such as low feed nutrient utilization. Second, low reproductive performance. Third, low animal growth. Fourth, low milk production. Fifth, low egg production. And lastly, it will result to the death of animals as a severe result of the feed security. And the second impact of climate change on animal health is the diseases occurrences, or the extension, emergence, and re-emergence of diseases. Natakal natin kanina yung bago-bagong panahon, yung uneven distribution of rainfall and the temperature, in which variation of this environmental stress, temperature, and rainfall are the most significant climatic variables affecting livestock disease outbreaks. Warmer and wetter weather will increase the risk and occurrence of animal diseases, because certain species that serve as disease vectors, such as biting flies and ticks, are more likely to survive year-round. Ayan, gustong gusto nila sa mga masa-masa at mainit na lugar. The movement of disease vectors into new areas, example malaria and livestock tick-borne diseases, Rift Valley fever, and Luton disease in Europe has been documented. Certain existing parasitic disease may also become more prevalent, or their geographical range may spread if rainfall increases. This may contribute to an increased disease spread for livestock. There are many rapidly emerging diseases continue to spread over large areas. Outbreaks of diseases such as foot and mouth disease or avian influenza affect a very large numbers of animals and contribute to further degradation of the environment and surrounding communities' health and livelihood. And the third impact of the climate change on animal health is the death of animals. The severe impact of climate change on animals is the death itself of the animals. And thank you. Love Mother Earth. Bye-bye. Mabuhay. Bye-bye.